Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Time for another quick Ask ChatGPT a quick question. This question comes from this. There's been a lot of discussion about what they call recess appointments for Trump appointees. And so I want to ask ChatGPT exactly what is the process for these appointees and what is the significance of them. And it'll just be a quick video, but I think it's be very helpful because we're going to be experiencing it very soon, I think. So, okay, so what's the confirmation process for Trump appointees was my first question. And ChatGPT says this. The confirmation process for appointees made by the U.S. president, including those nominated by former President Donald Trump, typically follows these steps. Number one, nomination. The president nominates individuals to serve in key positions such as cabinet members, federal judges, and other high-ranking government officials. Number two, Senate review. After the nomination, the Senate's relevant committee, e.g. the Senate Judiciary Committee for judicial nominees, the Senate Foreign Relations Committee for Secretary of State nominees, reviews the nominees' qualifications, background, and potential conflicts of interest. This process includes submission of paperwork. Nominees submit a questionnaire and a financial disclosures allowing the Senate to assess their suitability. And committee hearings. The committee holds hearings where the nominee testifies and answers questions from the senators. Other witnesses may testify in support or opposition to the nominee. And then there's a committee vote. Number three, committee vote. After the hearings, the committee votes on whether to recommend the nominee to the full Senate. If the committee approves, the nomination moves to the Senate floor. Okay, so first the committee vote. Okay. Then it moves to the Senate floor. Senate debate is number four. The full Senate debates the nomination. Senators can give speeches for and against the nominees, but debate time is usually limited to keep the process efficient. And then five, there's a Senate vote. The Senate votes on the nomination. For most appointments, a simple majority, 51 votes, is required to confirm the nominee. In the case of judicial nominees, the Senate has sometimes used the nuclear option, reducing the confirmation threshold to a simple majority rather than a supermajority of 60 votes, especially for Supreme Court nominees. Okay, and then six, confirmation or rejection. If the Senate confirms a nominee, they are appointed to the position. If the Senate rejects the nomination, the president may select a new nominee. This process has become particularly contentious in recent years, with significant partisan divides and instances of nominees being confirmed or blocked along party lines. How important this is my next question, how important are recess appointments? I've heard that they make it easier to get his appointments confirmed. Can you bullet point the process for how this works? Okay, here it goes. This is just a couple paragraphs and then I'll be done. Recess appointments are an important tool that allows the president to temporarily fill a vacancy without Senate confirmation while Congress is in recess. This can help bypass a Senate that may be slow to act or unwilling to confirm the president's nominees. Here's how the process works. Recess appointment process. Here it is. Number one, vacancy exists. Position requiring Senate confirmation, for example, cabinet member or judge, is vacant, and the Senate has not confirmed a nominee. Two, Senate happens to be in recess. Congress enters a recess of significant duration. Historically, this was defined as at least 10 days, although shorter recesses have been contested in court. 3, there's a presidential action. The president appoints the nominee to the vacant position during the recess. No Senate approval is required for this temporary appointment. So it's a temporary appointment. Okay. Number 4, the appointment takes effect. The appointee assumes the role immediately and can serve until the end of the next Senate session, usually the next calendar year. Wow. 5, Senate action afterward. The president often resubmits the nominee for Senate confirmation during the next session. The Senate can confirm, reject, or take no action. If the Senate does not confirm before the end of the session, the recess appointment expires. Okay, and here are some of the limitations. Number 6 limitations. A recess appointment does not provide permanent tenure for the appointee. Also, the individual can only serve temporarily, and their authority could be questioned, particularly if the Senate eventually rejects their nomination. Okay, and then I guess this my question: importance of recess appointments. There is 3 bullet points. Number 1, easier temporary placement, bypasses opposition or delays in the Senate. 2, influence without Senate approval, allows the president to maintain a functioning government even during periods of political gridlock. And 3, encourages Senate action, sometimes pressures the Senate to consider and act on a nominee to avoid extended service under a recess appointment. Okay, the challenges and controversies. This is the last section. Legal challenges. The constitutionality of recess appointments during brief or pro forma Senate sessions has been debated. The Supreme Court clarified in the NLRB versus Noel Canning in 2014 that only substantial recesses qualify for recess appointments. Political pushback. Recess appointments can escalate tensions between the executive and the legislative branches, especially if viewed as an overreach. Recess appointments are a temporary solution and cannot replace the need for Senate-confirmed appointees, but they are a significant tool for navigating political and procedural obstacles. So my understanding is that if somebody's placed in there in a recess appointment, and then they get I don't know how long it could be. It said 1 or 2 years, or a year and a half. Get experience under the belt, and especially if they're a qualified candidate and doing a wonderful job, how could they be denied that if they've got a wonderful track record in that year and a half? So I can see how Trump might want to use this, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. So can't wait, and thank you for listening. Bye-bye.